Take a glass of water and drop a handful of soil into it. Now, try to make that water clear again. But under one rule: you cannot filter it. You cannot change the water. You cannot stir anything. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Yet this was exactly the instruction that one of history's greatest spiritual masters gave to his closest disciple more than 2,000 years ago. And what happened next explains why your mind feels so full today and what to do about it. The scene unfolds on a hot afternoon, somewhere in ancient India. An aging master was walking through a forest beside his most devoted disciple. Tired and thirsty, he asked the disciple to return to a small stream they had crossed shortly before and bring back water. The disciple obeyed, but when he arrived, he found the stream churned up. Ox carts had just crossed through, leaving the water murky, full of leaves and mud. It was impossible to drink. He returned empty-handed and suggested, "Master, I know a larger river not far from here. The water there is clear. Let's go there instead." But the master replied with something that at first sounded like stubbornness without reason. "Go back to the same stream. If the water is still dirty, do nothing. Sit on the bank and wait." The disciple obeyed, but inside he was boiling with irritation. To him, it felt like a waste of time, an order with no logic. Still, he went back, sat on the bank of the murky stream, and waited. Slowly, without him doing anything at all, the mud began to settle. The leaves drifted away with the current, and within minutes, the water was crystal clear, clearer than he ever imagined it could be. That was when he understood the real reason behind the order. It was never about the stream. It was about his mind. Because the human mind works exactly like that stream. When it's agitated, full of worries, old wounds, fears, repetitive thoughts, our first instinct is to fix it by doing something. Think more, analyze more, force a solution. But that's like jumping into the murky stream and trying to clean it with your own hands. You only stir up more mud. The mind, just like water, has a natural capacity to settle, but only once you stop disturbing it. What's striking is that this same insight, that stopping is more powerful than acting, didn't appear only in the East. Nearly 500 years after this story, on the other side of the world, in Rome, the philosopher Seneca wrote a letter to a friend named Serenus. Serenus was a successful man, but he lived restlessly, always dissatisfied, always changing plans, always chasing the next thing that would finally bring him peace. Seneca called this state tranquillitas animi, the tranquility of the mind, and he described something remarkably similar to the stream. An agitated mind is like a liquid that has just been shaken. As long as you keep stirring it, shaking it, trying to force clarity, it never settles. But if you simply stop, the cloudiness settles on its own, and what remains is clarity. Notice this: a spiritual master in the East and a Roman philosopher in the West, living in completely different worlds, arrived at exactly the same conclusion about the human mind. That's not coincidence. It's because this is, quite literally, how the mind works. But a practical question arises. How do you stop stirring a mind that seems to have a will of its own? This is the most interesting part. Because both the Buddha and the Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, arrived at the same answer. You don't stop your thoughts, you observe them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, every night in a journal that was never meant to be published. In those pages, he wasn't trying to silence his mind, he was observing it. Where did this thought come from? Is this fear real, or just an automatic reaction? He didn't fight with his own thoughts. He simply watched them pass, the way the disciple watched the leaves being carried off by the current. This is the central point of meditation, both Buddhist and Stoic. You are not the river. You are the one sitting on the bank, watching the river. And here is the part that might surprise you. Modern neuroscience has reached a similar conclusion. Research on meditation shows that when a person practices observing their own thoughts without trying to control them or react to them, there is a reduction in activity in a brain network associated with rumination, those repetitive thoughts about the past and worries about the future. In other words, science is confirming with brain scans what a master told his disciple at the edge of a stream more than 2,000 years ago. So, how can you apply this today? The next time your mind feels muddy, full of anxiety, repetitive thoughts, worries, resist the urge to dive into it, to try to force a solution through sheer thinking. Instead, try this. Sit down, breathe, and for 2 or 3 minutes, simply watch your thoughts go by as if they were leaves being carried off by a current. Don't judge them. Don't analyze them. Don't fight them. Just watch, you'll notice that. Just like with that stream, after a while, without any effort on your part, things begin to settle on their own. An Eastern master, a Roman philosopher, and modern science, each in their own way, arrived at the same truth. The peace you're looking for doesn't need to be built. It only needs to stop being disturbed. If this resonated with you, follow this channel. Every week, I bring teachings like this, blending ancient wisdom, Stoic philosophy, and modern science to help you live with more clarity and less mental noise. See you in the next video.